Hello, 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 hello. Oh, thank you so much for dropping by this video. Do. So I have a lot of, return viewers and maybe you're new. So just a little quick overcap. There's a lot of satsangs out there teaching non-duality, and a lot of what's taught is self-inquiry. Sadly, it's not the real deal. And here's why. And so I make one of these videos anytime I'm confronted in the real world or in the online world, where not so much confronted, but where someone tries to teach me fake non-duality. This is how I respond. And this is kind of my service to the world, because the way non-duality is taught in, from what I can tell with most teachers, like vast majority, like 99.9%, it's actually very dangerous if you take it seriously. And I would know. It took me to the brink of suicide, and I'm not the only one. So here's the thing. In the very short version, and the reason why I'm laughing is because I've said it so many times, and I guess I'll just keep saying it till I don't. And also because I'm just happy lately and really blissed out on God. The thing is, the practice of self-inquiry, the path of self-inquiry, is the culmination of a lot of preparation. That doesn't mean you're going to have to do the preparatory practices in this lifetime. But what it means is, according to Ramana Maharshi, self-inquiry is only for the most ripe souls. It's very easy to tell if you're ripe for self-inquiry or not. Do you have any interest in happiness in this world, like finding happiness in the world? Do you have any interest? And or are you like absolutely set, like, oh my God, I have to escape from samsara, from the cycles of rebirth? If that's all you care about, boom, you're ready for self-inquiry. There's some other ways to check if you're qualified or not, but the thing is most satsangs don't qualify people. They just teach self-inquiry to everyone, which sounds great, except if your mind's not prepared, self-inquiry turns into an addiction, because self-inquiry doesn't resolve deep-seated mental and emotional imbalances. It just rises you above them. And then you're not able to sustain that because of these unresolved, let's see here, got a good visual going on. So here's, like deep-seated, I want it in my belly, like deep-seated mental and emotional problems, and self-inquiry doesn't resolve those. It just rises above. So these are still going on. They're like in the background, but you're like, oh, you're all peaceful, except these are in the background, so it pulls you down. And then you're back down here. You're like, oh shit, I need to inquire some more. And so you inquire and rise above. And these may get a little quiet, but they're still like these little squiggly spiders are still down there. And it seems like you've solved them, and you're all like, yeah, I've got this. I am consciousness. Everything's good. And then there's an explosion of the spiders, and you're like, oh crap, life sucks. Now I need to inquire. And you inquire, but you can't inquire because it's too crazy. You're like, this doesn't work. And then sooner or later, this settles down a little bit and you start inquiring. But of course, inquiry doesn't really resolve these issues. It just quiets them down. And then you're like, oh, I am consciousness. And then, whoa, these are, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And so how to recognize if the satsang you're attending is Neo-Advaita and is part of this vicious cycle? Well, it's easy. Does the teacher prescribe self-inquiry to everyone? It's very easy. Does this teacher prescribe... That's really funny. Does the teacher prescribe self-inquiry to everyone? Yes. Then yes, it's Neo-Advaita, and get the hell out of there. Does the teacher prescribe self-inquiry only, or do they also teach people karma yoga and bhakti yoga and forms of meditation, maybe even some breathing to help quiet the mind? No. Let's see. Do they teach self-inquiry and all these other things? And teach different things to different people depending on where they're at. If that's a yes, then stick around. You found a real teacher. You hit the jackpot. You still need to discern. I mean, it's not... you can't just like here I am making a YouTube video. I can't, there's no formula, but except if someone teaches self-inquiry to everyone, get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. And it's a great self-inquiry is a great practice to like meditate twice a day, to chill out a little bit. Well, it's not going to really produce any long-term results. And yeah. So there is a deep peace within us. It's really yummy. And there is the love of God. It's really yummy. But the route I described, not a fun way to find either. All this is a little in my face right now because I just had one more person try and recruit me. It's really a cult. Neo-Advaita is a cult. Make no doubt about it. It's like a kind of cult. It depends on the group. But yeah, I have a very dear friend who he's wrecked, and sadly he went from a Neo-Advaita cult. This one was a very cultish. He went from a Neo-Advaita cult to another cult, and I'm not saying he's like wrecked, like he'll never be well again, but it's not good. Well, he's been on the brink of a psychotic break for a long time, and it breaks my heart. So I hope this video can save someone a little time and suffering, and I feel myself kind of mostly done with this for any regular viewers. Now I just spend my days blissfully getting high on God and helping people in any way I can. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more. I'm obviously not into Neo-Advaita, but I'm not so much even into, Advaita just isn't my path. And for those who it is, great. I'm not gonna try and discourage anyone, but it's definitely not my path. And and have a ball. Watch out for the the self-inquiry only people. It's really like a religion, like Bible's the only way, Jesus is the only way, self-inquiry is the only way. What's the difference? One of them's, I just said Bible only way, Jesus only way, self-inquiry only way. What's the difference? None, really. One of them says this book is the only true book. Jesus, that he's the only guru, that's the claim. Self-inquiry only, that's the only practice for everyone. Wow, I've been doing this for 2.5 years and I finally understand Neo-Advaita. It's a fundamentalist religion posing as a valid spiritual path. And the kicker is, for someone who's ripe, it is a valid spiritual path. But for everyone else, there's no difference. No difference between it and a religion. And if Ramana was in his grave, he would be turning over in his grave watching what's happened. But I'm thinking he's blissed out and he's probably still crying. I mean, if I were him, I would be crying. He cried the day people be like, oh, Ramana doesn't cry. Well, actually, he cried the day Gandhi was assassinated. I'm guessing. I can see a poster like, don't make Ramana cry. Don't practice Neo-Advaita. Don't make Ramana cry. So yeah, I've been doing this channel for 2.5 years, and I think one of the highlights of it was someone came on here and she started talking while I was doing a live broadcast. And she's like, is such and such Neo-Advaita? And I'm like, well, do they do this? Do they do this? Do they do this? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, that's Neo-Advaita. And I explained a little bit to her why it was so dangerous and harmful. And she's like, oh, that explains it. She said, I always used to get depressed whenever I practiced it or focused on it. I made 200 plus videos, and that was a peak experience. Still blisses me out. So wish everyone a God-filled day. I'd like to thank. I mean, one of the beauties of Neo-Advaita is it teaches us discernment, that we have to learn discernment. Not the most fun lesson, it's like I used to think, something's spiritual, so it's good. Now when someone says something spiritual, I'm like, whoa, I put on my brakes. Caution, like yellow flag. The spirit itself, wonderful. The human institutions that claim to get us towards spirit or help us metaphysical growth. Caution, 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 caution. Thanks so much for joining in. Oh, we just had someone else pop by. You just caught the tail end of the video. I wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful self-inquiry free day. Unless you're ripe for that. Take care. Much love.